Back on their XRP video. Hope you guys had a fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. And wow, it happened, guys. I said in yesterday's video, I was saying, we're at this point of convergence. And truth is, look, it happened. Our MACD lines just didn't want to touch. And it's very interesting because even though the technicals were at the last thread, I like to say, this is not because of technical. This is because of news here happening. Huge news, and Brad Garlinghouse himself talked about it. He tweeted about this. So we're going to get into this. There's a few interesting articles I want to cover, some price to volume ratios I want to talk about, which is stuff no one ever covers, and I think it's key for XRP price, talking. And then we're going to close it off with some interesting stuff. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to smash the like button. Let's try to hit 500 likes in today's video, and let's get straight into it. Boom! Today's ruling is a huge step forward. The US OCC is absolutely leading the way to foster innovation, protect consumers, and provide a level playing field for all. The future has never been fiat versus crypto. These can and should coexist in harmony. Dude, I love Brad Garlinghouse. I love his perspective. He's not a maximalist at all. He understands what's best for the future, and I love that. I love that the CEO of such a fantastic company, backing a great cryptocurrency, is level-headed and intelligent and just has good perspective. Because, as a CEO position, you are the chief executive officer. You're the person who is pretty much continuing the direction of the company, if not creating a new direction. And that's key for, a company like a cryptocurrency company. So for Brad Garlinghouse to be so aware of what matters, in this case regulation, is, awesome. And it makes me love the XRP and Ripple community even more. So what he's talking about is this: banks in the US can now offer crypto custody services, regulators says. So this is straight out of the OCC. And this is big news when Alex Cobb came back and made a video about this. This is something that's big for the cryptocurrency space and for XRP. Okay, because regulations is what XRP, or Ripple, I should say, has been focused on, thanks to Brad's amazing, focus. He's been focused on the right thing. So in a public letter dated July 22nd, senior deputy comptroller, et cetera, the letter marks a major development for the crypto industry. Previously, custody was the province of specialist firms such as Coinbase, which typically needed a state license, such as a trust charter, to offer services to large investors. So providing custody for cryptocurrency would differ in several respects from the other custody activities. Okay, so what is happening here is providing, in this case, banks, I believe it's federal banks, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me on that, the ability to be custodians of crypto, of, their clients' crypto. So view it as this, back in the day, I heard that there was some really big Bitcoin whale. It might have been the Winklevoss twins, don't quote me on that, but it might have been them. They said that they had their keys of their paper wallet spread out throughout different banks across the world in vaults. And don't quote me once again if it's them. I'm not sure, but the idea here is that the quote unquote Coinbase cold storage could be replaced here with actual banks. So this is huge. This is huge because what this means is a lot of people here who don't want to buy through Grayscale because they want to own their own cryptocurrency can now buy their cryptocurrency and not have to worry about having their cold storage. Can now make sure that banks will have custody of those private, or I should say those cold storage keys. In this case, they say unique cryptographic keys for their actual wallets. This is big. Now, does this matter for XRP? Just as much as it matters for other cryptocurrencies, because obviously people own different cryptos. The reason why I think personally this is important for XRP is because this is the regulation, as I said before, this is a regulation this is a clear, positive step for regulation. And I absolutely love this. I'm super excited. I'm so glad that Brad is talking about this. And yeah, we're going to be seeing, this could be the beginning here of a bull run. And this has reached a point here where the TA is, obviously there's some resistance here. As you guys can see, we've been playing with that resistance for a while here. We played even back here for forever, for months. And truth is, this is the kind of news that this regulatory clarity that is going to provide, an ability for cryptocurrency price action to go above the technical resistances. For example, if you look at this, honestly, I'm going to say trash Fib retracement. It's so overdue, but I'm still going to use it for a final time here. You guys can see right here. I didn't close it right here. 1 second. Right there. You guys will notice that in this case our 618, 61.8% and our 50% are still a big resistance corridor here. Once we break above that level, in this case the 50%, we usually have this sort of resistance that builds in due to the fib retracement where we've bounced off of it before. And then what that causes is a high volatility area up to the 618. And then once we break above that, the sky's the limit. We start breaking into our long-term resistance of 21.5. So the real macro trend here that we're looking at is this idea right here. We're looking at, I remember it was who was it? It was some cryptocurrency YouTuber, XRP YouTuber. I think it was Kevin Cage, maybe. It might have been him. I don't watch, much XRP content. I'm sorry if I'm not on top of it, but he talked about the 34-cent area. I believe it was him. Don't quote me on that. Being, what we have to break to completely have a solid reversal of our markets. And I agree with that. I agree that this is going to be a big feat here because that'll mean we made a high, another higher high since we had our March sell-off. But once we do break this level here, then we'll be able to start testing levels like the 50-cent area. So that's going to be key here. I'm excited, man. I love to see that right when the TAs were, bullish, right when the TA indicators were bullish, I talked about in yesterday's video. Go show that if you haven't, with the MACD and the moving averages. Right when that happens, we have good news to add on top of it. And I would not be, surprised. I said, next 48 hours, you guys are going to want to see this, man, because the TA matters. But when you add news to that, it's even better. It amplifies the FOMO, it amplifies the buy pressure, etc. And I absolutely love that the signal line is going absolutely logarithmic right now, showing this sort of, real life support. We're going to bounce off it. We're not going to break free, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, I'm excited here for the near future here for cryptocurrency. This week is going to continue to be, amazing, and I'm excited to see what happens. So I need your help for a second, guys. I want you guys, anyone who is a, well versed in technicals, well versed in the understanding of markets and how indicators work, maybe someone who made indicators for TradingView. I want a crucial indicator, which would be a volume to price ratio. I want an indicator here for XRP to view some future price predictions, potentially a level where you can see the price action relationship to volume and find a constant that is going to, based off of a long-term trend, be the trend line for a volume to price. For example, if volume is at 500 million, and we're going to be talking about ODL later, but I'm talking about just in general, if volume is at 500 million, USD per day, and price action is $1, will price action be $2 when at that same market trend volume is at 100 or 1 billion? You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously not a proportional relationship between volume and price action, but I think if we find some sort of positive correlation through some sort of indicator, that will provide great, shorter and longer term predictions here for XRP. I haven't been able to find that. I found stuff like volume price trend indicator, doesn't work. I found price volume ratio to identify reversals, not what I'm talking about. And I want to really look at that, for ODL, because I think ODL volume is going to be a very good indicator here for our actual price action that we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to get into this real quick here to talk about the biggest price prediction I've ever seen. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I think this is physically impossible. Obviously I'm not even a believer in 10K, $10,000 XRP. This is a crucial article here in the XRP space. I've even, highlighted the important passages. But I'm just a believer it's a little bit overkill. There's not enough money in circulation in the world. The USD is not devalued enough for this to actually be possible. But what I want to talk about is ODL volume, okay? So looking at ODL, you guys know how it is. I've shown you guys, these are the 10 steps one sender, one receiver have to go through to actually have that successful ODL transfer. Still much more, consistent, easier to do than Swift. However, truth is this volume is key because we've been seeing, I didn't see a correlation between ODL volume and price action, but there has to be one, man. ODL is, in my opinion, the most successful, and it's the project that's going to bear the most fruits for Ripple, in my opinion. And so viewing, ODL volume as a key number is going to be important. So the actual all-time high we've seen in a daily was 21 million. So it is some math here. I want to show you guys this here real quick. What we have here is the current, give or take price of 20 cents for XRP. The 21 million volume here that we saw max for a daily. And then we have the 5 trillion daily volume that Swift deals with. Now, the reason I use 5 trillion is because it's a huge number in the XRP community. Everyone knows about this 5 trillion. Once again, there is a difference here. I want to understand that you guys understand this. I think it's very important to say. There is price action. Okay, understand this, and I'm going to say it once and for all. Price action is all it is the homeostasis, right? The center price between the price that someone is willing to sell at and the price someone is willing to buy at. So XRP could, hypothetically go to $10 million today if there was enough people willing to buy and sell at $10 million. Okay, so that's the key. Understand that. That's why there are glitches sometimes that we see there on the exchanges. However, just, to be safe, what I took is I took the 5 trillion, but I also took the highest volume that we've seen on ODL, so you guys can't say, oh, but it's going to go lower. We've been having these insanely low days here. For example, you guys can see we're down to 120,000 when we were, up at a few millions, 21 million. We do the math here. Let's just bring this back up here. We do the math. So we want to find, this specific price that would relate here. What am I doing? Let's go full screen. Sorry about this, guys. We want to find the price here that would relate to this 5 trillion. So what we do here is we do the 0.2 times 5 trillion, which would be 1 trillion. Let's just add these zeros here to make it look better. 100 billion, 1 billion, 1 trillion. Okay. And then we just divide it by the 21 million. 21, 123, 123. And there's the price, man. $47,000. And this is insane. But I want you guys to understand this is just to show you guys the sheer potential that volume could provide here. Okay, obviously this price is insane. This is more of a ball in the ball range for something like Bitcoin. But really looking at this, understanding that this volume here, 5 trillion, is huge. It's huge. And to show the market share, in this case, the volume share of global payments that Ripple currently has with ODL is microscopic. So think about that. Like this should be making you jump up out of your chair and start clapping. This is so important to realize. Like, we are such a small market here. Only 21 million on the highest day we ever saw here for ODL transactions. Only 21 million, 5 trillion. That would give us a $47,000 XRP. So think about that, guys. Think about that and really understand this is not child's play. Could get crazy any second. And I'm excited to see what happens here. I want to end off here with Bearable Guy 123. And the main thing I want to realize, or show you guys this specific, drawing, graph, whatever you want to call it, graphic, that's not the right term. Painting. Anyways, it's this perseverance. And it's great to see that Brad Garlinghouse has that, perseverance. And I love it because he speaks when he should speak. He doesn't speak when he shouldn't be speaking. If you compare him to a lot of other CEOs, I noticed that he communicates enough, but it's for useful things. Okay, when he communicates, it means a lot. There's a reason why, almost half of the likes are retweets and comments, because it shows that people care. And once people care, that provides the support group that Ripple wants. Like Ripple, if it weren't for social media, Ripple would have a much harder time providing, bullish outlooks, right? Like Ripple in this day and age, social media has completely brought so much interest to XRP, which has, inadvertently provided more money there for Ripple, because Ripple is, selling off that escrow. And if we're talking about a, in this case, like an 8 billion, 9.1 billion dollar market cap, this would not exist if it weren't for social media. So the fact that Brad Garlinghouse is able to speak when he should, and I'm not a PR person. I don't know, I'm not a publicist. I don't understand when you should speak and when you shouldn't, right? I just like talking about cryptocurrency. But I understand that from this is the kind of time where Brad is really sharing his opinion on what really matters. And not a lot of people understand that regulations are key for Ripple to succeed. I keep on repeating it because I'm trying to drill it into, people's minds to make them realize that regulations are key. And so I love this. It's just put a smile on my face, and, perseverance is key, man. He's going to continue, and I love it. I could not be more, comfortable with any other CEO than Brad Garlinghouse at the head. And truth is, people like Chris Larson, Jen McCaleb, great minds. But Brad is the one who's, showing the direction. When you have the sheer brain power of people like David Schwartz behind, and all the amazing engineers and computer scientists behind Ripple, there's nothing to worry about. And that's just the truth, man. And I absolutely love it. I'm super excited to be part of the XRP community, guys. I was a little bit later to join. I joined, in around late 2018, early 2019. but I've been following, Ripple or XRP as a cryptocurrency since 2017. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. I want to, close off here by really showing you guys my opinion on the price action, okay? The $100 XRP price action is what I believe as the end goal. The end game, quote unquote. We talk about, XRP, the standard. Once the standard has been, successfully embroidered, is that the right word, into society, $100 XRP seems realistic. But I want to understand that there is no right answer when it comes to predictions, okay? Because obviously you can say 100 different predictions. If one of them gets right, you can claim you got it right? It's a technique that, can be used. I don't use predictions to just, spread, I do use predictions to keep the hype, because my first prediction I ever made was actually Litecoin. Because I was a young kid, I came into the cryptocurrency space, I bought Litecoin around $50, and I was like, you know what, this is going to hit $500. I feel it. I'm looking at how undervalued it is in terms of the market cap. I see how Bitcoin is a completely dominant market. This was before alt season in 2017, 2018, and it hit 420. And I was like, wow, it was close. And ever since understanding what a prediction really means, I have spent hours and hours and hours looking at markets, understanding valuation of money, what creates market cap. Okay, what creates that homeostasis within the depth chart, within the buy and sell orders. And $100 has, time and time again become the real, level that I'm looking at. And I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded when it comes to price action. I whenever someone says, XRP is going to go to zero, like, I talk to them. I want to have a conversation. I just want to remain optimistic, but also realistic and objective. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys are still watching, please make sure to comment down below. Tell me you're still watching so I can thank you personally. It means the world to me, guys. You guys have been, the support has been crazy recently. Yesterday's video, you guys loved it. And, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, as usual, peace.